All the gentlemen you've referred to are great action stars, but I'm the top martial artist in the world officially. You know, when I get hit, I really get pain, a lot of it, exactly as much as the rest of them do, really in real life. But I'm trained not to make those sounds and those faces.
Does this film also require you to act as much as the first one did?
Coming from a reviewer, like, is this film supposed to make you act?
Vidyut, it's lovely to have you on Film Companion.
Thank you.
You know, when I look at all the things that you do, of course your filmography over what, 10 years, 11 years now in Hindi cinema, the show that you do, your YouTube channel, your social media, I feel like most of it positions you more as a warrior than an actor. Is that how you see yourself?
A warrior can be an actor for sure. An actor can't necessarily be a warrior, but a warrior can be everything. And you can put me in any mold, I'll be that form. So, how it comes across, I don't know, but this is who I am.
Okay, let's talk about Khuda Hafiz Chapter 2. Right now, in the first film, your character, Sameer, is looking for his wife, Nargis. In Chapter 2, Sameer is looking for his daughter. So, I'm assuming that this is a actual sequel as opposed to a spiritual sequel, which is all the rage, correct? It's the same characters who are, their lives are being taken forward.
So the first part was a true story. It was inspired by this couple, and we didn't plan off the second part for sure. No idea. And like the producer comes to you and says, you know, the first part is really done well. We should do Khuda Hafiz too. And I was like, no. And so Farooq was very sure he doesn't want to do anything else. You know, he wants to do a different movie. And we weren't planning of it. And one fine evening, Farooq calls me and he says, Vidyut, you know, the movie's done well, and I was in touch with the couple. Till here it's a happy ending, but what really happens to these people? The truth is, the girl hasn't got a job till now. I think she got a job last year. Every time, she did get jobs, but when she went in for work, everybody pointed her out that, oh, she's that girl, she's that girl. They didn't mean any harm, but they still spoke. And so was the case with Sameer. So Farooq says, you know, Vidyut, everybody goes through this and we don't know about it. Why don't we make the second part on this? What really happens after the man has got his wife back? What happens to people after they've succeeded and apparently it's a happy ending? So hence the thought of Khuda Hafiz 2 came in, and we called it Agni Pariksha. The couple has to go through it, the wife individually, the man individually. So, yeah.
You know, the first film really sort of required you to kind of do as much acting as you did action, because the action didn't even kick in till like about an hour later was that first major sort of action sequence, right? Does the second do the same, and is that almost more challenging because you're such a skilled martial artist? Is it easier almost to fight than to act?
Because I'm representing the martial arts community, I'll have to explain to you that if you really are a fine martial artist, you will be fine in everything else, because you've got discipline to start with. You've got passion. A true martial artist. A person who just goes and kicks a few things is not a martial artist. A martial artist has to be a martial artist. Nothing's difficult. The not so easy part was me trying to be a common man, and that means a person who's not skilled in the art of warfare. So if somebody would attack me naturally, I would block it. But here, the common man will do something like that.
Right.
So for me to untrain myself was a little difficult, but once I got into the groove and I started realizing there's so much we can do without being trained too. So it was a great experience for sure.
And does this film also require you to act as much as the first one did? Because it is an emotionally rich story.
Coming from a reviewer, like, is this film supposed to make you act? Every movie is supposed to perform.
No, of course. But your USP is the action, right, Vidyut? So is it also leaning on you as an actor?
When I did Commando, the first part, the director expects you to just be cold-hearted, go into the enemy territory and kill everybody. So that's the performance he wants out of you. So that's what you do. Now in Khuda Hafiz too, it's about a common man, what he goes through, the turmoil, everything that is happening around him. So the performance was a little different because he's a common man. So answering your question, they both are different characters, and yes, I enjoyed being this emotional man a lot. I loved it. I genuinely enjoyed being in situations where I know I can get out of them, but as a trained fighter, but to think about it was amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Is it also interesting for you to be vulnerable on screen, emotionally vulnerable? Because also that's not a side we've seen, but I think also in Sanak, there are scenes where you had a few tears. Is that a new thing? Are you consciously as an actor looking to be more emotionally vulnerable? Because physically you are not that.
No, when I get hit, I really get pain, a lot of it, exactly as much as the rest of them do, really, in real life. But I'm trained not to make those sounds and those faces.
So you're hurting within.
I'm trained to get hit. I'm just happy, I really am happy, Anupama. Like, whatever's happening is amazing. Like I said, everything that has happened around me is a miracle. Like when people say, you know, Vidyut, I meet a lot of people who really love me a lot, and they say, Vidyut, you could be here. And this is what you should be doing, but they don't understand where I come from. My God, an army officer's child representing the whole of the nation. I feel so good. Everything is a bonus. Everything is a bonus.
Tell me about the casting of Sheeba Chaddha as the badass. I love that. The little glimpse we got of her in the trailer. How was that decided?
There's a strong man on screen. Now we need a really strong person. And it's not really physical, it could be mental, emotional, anything. And who else? The human race has women. So we decided to cast Sheeba ji because she's amazing to start with as a performer.
Yeah.
She enjoyed being that human being on screen. There was no doubt she's amazing, and it was such an amazing, it was so good to be around her presence. Just the woman who's in control and in confidence of a being, and then becoming that character. It was amazing.
You know, Vidyut, Jhon Abraham had said to me once that attitude is what makes an action star. He said the action is here, it's not here. Do you agree with that?
It's like saying martial arts is about just one kick. There's zillions of them. So I agree with this one drop of information, but there's so much more, girl, so much more. Like, it's not only the attitude. I think a real action star or a person who does action has to be really kind. If you invoke that kindness in you, you could be anything. You could be Shiva. You got to be really kind to be able to destroy things. The yin yang. So I agree with this thought, but you just be the person you will be at that very moment. There are times when I meet professional fighters, I've been trained in the ring, and I meet these boys who could really get a person down in a second. But when it comes to being on the street and they have to go and save a girl from being anything, being abused or being called upon, these guys don't go there because they're very careful about being fighters. So the real fighter is somebody who will fight any situation, anywhere. So like you said, what Jhon says is right, it's a drop of it, but attitude for sure, but kindness, to be there for anybody is what makes you really a great action star.
But Vidyut, when you are an action star, and that's really what kind of defines you, right? When I go into your movies, I want to see you fight, right? How do you then keep kind of differentiating yourself from all the other guys who are fighting? I mean, 1 week before you, Aditya has a film called Om, he's pulling this helicopter down. Of course, Jhon is, you know, still doing all the stuff that he's been doing. Tiger Shroff has taken the bar to another level. In that environment, how do you keep kind of honing your skills and pushing forward?
All the gentlemen you've referred to are great action stars, but I'm the top martial artist in the world officially. I work throughout, whether I'm sleeping, I'm awake, I'm in awareness, and that's how I hone my skills. What people see, like sometimes they compare me to Jackie Chan, sometimes to Tony Jaa, sometimes to other legendary people. It's amazing that they compare me to the best. It's like saying, Vidyut, you're as good as Michael Jackson when you move. Wow. So for that, all the time you got to be aware, everything. I'm honing my skills, not only physically, as an action star, I keep watching. If this happens, what would I do? I keep putting myself in these situations all the time, and that's what I show on screen. When you watch Khuda Hafiz, the scene was set in where these butchers are, and I went on the set and I was like, okay, it's a situation that a lot of people have been in, but if I was in here, and the way I think, how would I fight? And that's what we've done. So when I think of an action scene, when I choreograph it, or when I direct it, I always think of what would I really do, and I am somebody who's skilled. So I would try to do something different.
Do you have any bouts of insecurity?
No, lots. Every time I take a big leap into the other building or the window, I'm like, oh my God, I will break my leg. I'm really insecure of it. And then I think about it a lot of times, and then I believe in the divine, and I take the jump. So these insecurities are very normal, like, oh my God, I'm getting late for the interview. Oh my God, what will they think? Insecure. But on a major scale, no.
So, Vidyut, is that what compels you to, I don't know, go into that lake in freezing Shrinagar, it's what, -8 degrees or some ridiculous temperature, and you are standing there, this I saw on your Instagram handle, and you just, you take your clothes off and you go into that water and you're just talking about, see, you can do anything. What compels you to do stuff like that? Is that it?
No, that's a part of my training for me. Like you said, how do you keep enriching yourself with action? It's not only about kicking, it's about seeing what you can do. And
so where your limits are, that's what you're testing?
No, I just realized that there are no limits. So I'm not testing it, I just want to experience it. Like in kalaripayattu, I've been doing it for the longest time. I know there are different, first you learn how to fight, defend, heal, blah, 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 blah. Then you reach a phase where you are the yogi fighter, where you're calm from within, calm from outside, and that's what I was trying to do. I went into -18, I buried myself in snow for about 2 hours, 58 minutes, all recorded. It's training your mind, your body, your spirit, and that's what I was doing.
Wait, you stayed in that water for 2 hours?
2 hours, 58 minutes. No, not in the water, was about an hour and a half. Then I buried myself in snow. I went into the mountains and... Yeah.
And that's just to kind of figure out where you are mentally?
No, like I said, every cell in a body has divine intelligence. I want to hear everybody speak in my body. So when you want everybody in your body to speak, you're not interested in what the others are saying. I don't follow anybody on Instagram, and people say, Vidyut, are you arrogant? Why do you not follow anybody? It's because I really am busy doing my things. I don't want to watch other people. They're really good, but I'm busy.
I love that.
But I am.
Everyone's really good, but I'm busy.
But I am busy trying to do things. If I watch people, it will waste my time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one way to look at it. You spoke about Tony Jana. You have a YouTube show, X-Rayed by Vidyut, and you spoke to him. And you've spoken to other really, really famous action heroes. So what is the one thing all of you have in common?
Very, very, very soft from within and hard from outside. Like very. You just give us a little love and you'll be surprised. You'll be bestowed with so much love from us. Common. Michael Jai White, a real-time hustler, one of the biggest action stars, a gangster. But if it's about protecting anybody you know, you'll kill. So that's the common thing. They really are kind people from within. Really kind. You will see. They will really help people without being asked or told. Common.
So it's that kindness that you spoke about earlier. That's the first principle of being an action star then.
Anything. Because you limited it to being an action star. I was chatting with Mama while I was driving here, and I was telling her, Mom, life is amazing. Like, it's amazing. And I really mean it. If you know how to give love, you will receive it. And I've always heard it. I experience it every day of my life. You could be an action star, you could be a romantic star, you could be anything. Kind. People aren't trained to be kind. Really, like, I see people, the moment they touch success, they pretend to be kind, they pretend to be happy. I genuinely don't see kind people and happy people. If you ask somebody, how are you, they're happy, but you don't look it. You're trying to lose too much weight, or you're trying to gain too much weight. That's making you unhappy. Stop thinking about it. Just be there. This is the perfection. That's what makes the action star. believe everything is right, perfect.
You're right. It isn't a very kind business. This, the entertainment business is brutal in so many ways. I want to talk about something you did last year, Vidyut, which I thought was quite amazing because it doesn't happen. This is when Khuda Hafiz went on Disney Plus Hotstar, and they, of course, they had 7 films, but they only called actors from 5 films for the virtual event, and you actually called them out for it and said that. You posted on Twitter that it's a long road and the cycle continues. Did you feel like you needed to do that to kind of, just say that this is not okay?
वो कहते हैं कि झुक झुक कर सीधा खड़ा हुआ, अब झुकने का शौक नहीं, अपने ही हाथों रचा, तुझसे मिटने का खौफ नहीं. So when I wrote that, I woke up in the morning and I read that. I saw the newspaper and I was like, wow, they didn't invite me. Yeah. I should write about it. I promise you, there was no other thought. And it catapulted into something amazing. The whole country rose for me. And then you say people aren't kind. They are so kind. Everybody was so kind to me. And then Disney Hotstar decided that we should recognize the gentleman too. People are very kind. I really mean it. 98% people are nice. It's just that 2%, not in our industry, the 2% of humanity. And because we witnessed it, we think everybody else is. We should change the way we think. Everybody's really nice. Be nice to them, you'll see niceness. Don't have to say good things. Oh, you're so beautiful, you've lost so much weight. No, that's not kind. That's just being, really see the niceness. It's something you develop. It's like they say acquired taste of sushi, blah, blah. Acquired taste of being kind, happy. Every time I'm in the car, I promise you, I see people, and when there are young people who want to just like peep into the car, I've never been scared to tell them to sit in the car. This is the army boy. I've grown up like sitting in people's cars and expensive clothes. When God's given it to you, you should give it to everybody. Hai na?
Bilkul. But why do you say it's a long road then, if everyone is nice?
No, it was a long road at that moment, then it shortened because I tweeted, it became a short road. It seemed like a long road, I didn't know it was so simple. And then God's kind, like we got really lucky with the movie.
Okay, tell me about your production house, Action Hero Films, right? But you always say in interviews that you actually like to watch romance. That's your preferred...
I can't watch action movies.
Which is so weird, why not?
It's even weird that my mom loves watching action movies. She loves the blood. She's like, wow, what a scene. There's a song which I just showed you. The hand goes off and my mom was like, wow. So that's the mom, yin, yang. I don't like watching action movies. I like doing it.
And you're a fan of romance?
Comedy, love it. My favorite is comedy. Yeah.
So Action Hero Films will not only do action?
No, action speaks louder than words. This thought came to me and I was like, Action Hero Films. We'll do everything beyond action. One of the reasons is that I realized that there's so much talent in the country. So much. I've grown up watching great actors and I see them nowhere. They're still trying to get work. Number one reason for Action Hero Films. Number one. I want to work with all these people. All the people who are from theatre, who've been sitting back there. So we did IB71, we finished the film. We got Sankalp Reddy, he did one movie, got a national award, and he vanished. So I want to know, where's this guy gone? Because I'd watched Ghazi Attack, phenomenal. So people told me he's arrogant, so people don't want to work with him. I was like, that's fine, but I really liked what he did. Do you mind if I go and meet him in Hyderabad? I met him, he's amazing, he's not arrogant, he's just quiet. Worked with him. Every actor in the movie, 95% are the ones who I always thought are phenomenal, never got a break. Crack. So that's what we're doing with Action Movie. Get the best of the actors, performers, editors, directors, and work with them. Whether it's an action movie, romantic movie, comedy, just do it.
Well, you're also very romantic, Vidyut, in life. I mean, I saw your Instagram post for your fiancée, Nandita, and I was wondering, do you ever wonder what is public, what is private? Do you ever have sort of struggle with that?
Explain to me, what does the question mean?
Meaning, you know, you posted this video for her birthday, you know, your proposal was out there for the world to see. So, do you ever before posting, before sort of sharing with the world your love story, do you ever think of, should I share this, should I not, what should I keep for just myself?
No, you've got great examples. Before I think of a thing, I think about everything that has happened around me. I read about our movie actors and they never admit to a relationship they are in. They're always friends. And I don't know if it's okay with the girl and the guy, but I don't think it's a cool thing. Why aren't you being honest? Everybody knows you guys are not just friends. And why are you embarrassed of it? So in my case, when it came to the engagement thing, I was like, I have to do it in a way that the girl has never been, like, she's not even imagined it. Do the best of it.
Which is why you were hanging.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, like, I think everything that you do has to be the best effort. Every moment of your life, from brushing your teeth to everything. If you don't give in your 100% in everything you do, then I'm not very sure if you'll be happy.
But you don't just get tired someday and say, yaar, rehne do?
No, I don't know, like if the journey is a lot of fun, you never get tired. If the journey is boring, you get tired. Like if you're in a car drive, my journey is amazing, I don't get tired. I love doing this. I just love excelling in everything I do. Excelling doesn't mean like competing with somebody, excelling in like I swear every morning I wake up, every morning upon awakening I ask myself this question, Mr. Vidyut Jammwal, आज क्या चमत्कार करोगे तुम? मैं सोचता हूँ ये. Might come across as arrogance, but I genuinely think of it. Today I have to do something spectacular.
And what happens on the days where you can't manage that?
I'm very kind to me. It's okay, don't worry, we'll do it tomorrow.
Kindness is the operating principle.
Yeah, so I'm very kind to me. Like, I'm not difficult on me. When I meet people and they talk about discipline, it's all wrong. Discipline is not waking up at 4 in the morning and going to the gym or 6 in the morning and training. Discipline is you've promised yourself, this is what I'll do. I'll run for 5 kilometers. That's discipline. I will do it whether it's after lunch, before I sleep. It's a promise that you've made to yourself. I always keep a promise. Always.
What's the promise you've made to yourself as an actor?
Divine. That he'll take, like I will not doubt him. Like they say, if you want to make fun of God, tell him your plan.
Right.
So that's the decision I've made, that I don't want to like, nothing. It's your job, do it. I'm going to do the best of what you want me to do.
तो promises और चीज़ों के लिए हैं.
नहीं, promise है कि आप मुझे काम दीजिए, मैं बहुत उम्दा करूँगा. मैं बहुत छोटा, like I used to play like imperceptible roles in the south of India. Like I was not the bad guy, I was the bad guy's bad guy, third bad guy. The only person who could see me is my mom. There you are, so nice. I promised myself I'll be really good at doing that also. I was one of the 3 bad guys, but I gave it everything. Not try to surpass or overpower somebody, just give it all. It works. It works.
Nice. And I have to ask you this, because this was one of the things that really fascinated me about the first Khuda Hafiz was that it was an arranged Hindu-Muslim marriage between the 2 characters. Is that something perhaps the second film will explore a little more?
You know, these are very like obvious things to look for in a movie, and I'm not saying people don't look for the obvious things. It's okay if a Hindu guy gets married to a Muslim person. The important part about the second part, which I'm very proud of, being a part of it, is that it's about adopting a child. It's about surrogacy. It's about everything that we don't talk about. Like, it's nice to have a child. If you can't have your own, why don't you get another one? It's about being just able to love somebody. So Khuda Hafiz 2 is about having a child, and not your own, but you give it so much that you believe and you know it's yours, and then you fight for it.
Well, looking forward to seeing the film. Thank you so much.
Thank
Vidyut.
you.
Thank you.